This is Scorecard on Channel 1 TV, and I am Bernard Big Godfrey. Well, as I earlier on indicated to you guys already seated, and show must run. Kwame and him. Kwame, how are you?
Very good.
It's been a minute.
Yes, it's been a minute.
Did you sleep this morning? Yeah, this
you
morning.
Can imagine. You know, the time we left the place, I
Absolutely.
got home around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Had to wake up in the morning, go for morning mass at 6:30.
It's crazy.
And I've had a very long day, and I've had to complete here. I'm sure by this hour I should get home around 12. And then the next morning, you know, Accra, the hustle and bustle continues.
This is crazy. Of course, that's Kwame and Imbafo. And Angelo Kwache Manuel, hard guy.
Bernard, how are you?
Charlie, they have big name.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
You a big man.
solid. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, I mean, yesterday, you know, the issue Kwame raised earlier, it was a night to honor our football stars here in the country and even beyond, because Ashraf Hakimi also won an award last night. But first, let's get a glimpse at you know, the footballer of the year, our very own Thomas Partey. And I say he's captained the Black Stars in you know, games that's been instrumental in Ghana, you know, finding themselves on the winning side. Let's watch how events panned out last night at the Ghana Football Awards. We come back in studio to talk about one of the greats in our game.
Win the topmost accolade 3 times. Definitely. A hat-trick of Footballer of the Year awards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for Thomas Partey. And he's coming in ably supported by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Partey. Let's hear it for them. Let's hear it for them, ladies and gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the man who has now scored a hat-trick of Footballer of the Year awards here at the Ghana Football Awards. Thomas Partey.
Thank you to the organizers. It's been 3 times on a row. I appreciate that. And also to everyone who voted for me. I know it's not easy. I have a lot of mates who deserve it. I'm not the only one, but as you know, I have the support of my family. And I take this as much importance as any award I'll take in my career. And I really appreciate it, and I love it. Thank you.
So it's a hat-trick of awards for Thomas Partey. He wins the Footballer of the Year for the 3rd time running smooth. Does that indicate the contribution he's had on our game for the Black Stars?
I mean, for the work that Partey has done for Ghana, I mean, it's undoubted. I mean, if I'm looking at the player who has won it 3 times, the awards has been around. This is the 7th edition of the award. I mean, winning 3 out of 7. I mean, speaks a lot. I mean, within that period, Thomas Partey has exhibited the kind of player he is and the quality that he brings to any team that he plays for. This season, I'm sure Arteta would be happy. I mean, seeing Partey play almost injury-free. I don't remember a time where, I don't know, I'm not too sure, but I don't remember a time where he had a significant injury that took him away for a very long time. And I mean, staying fit, as people will always say, is part of the game. So he was able to stay fit, he was able to play well.
He's attributed that to the family man he has become.
I don't know what kind of thing it changes with you, but I mean, it definitely improves your focus.
Okay.
I mean, having a child and all of that, these things are certain dynamics that come. People may count it for little, but it does have a tremendous impact on the way you look at things. I mean, anytime you have a newborn baby for the first time, it's sort of changes your psyche about things. It gives you perspective to things. So I'm not surprised that he's attributing it to some of these things. So it's been great for Thomas Partey, but obviously there are certain key issues that I would raise. I mean, with respect to he winning the award over other people, because I felt a player like Antoine Semenyo had a far better season than Thomas Partey, given the team he played for, the amount of contribution that he had for them, and it tells you, it even shows in the value Bournemouth have placed on him, because we are hearing about 60 million, 70 million pounds on his head for any team that wants Thomas Partey and all of that. So it tells you the quality that, but this is Partey. He has contributed. I mean, there is absolutely nothing you can say about the amount of contribution that he's given to the teams that he's played for, i.e. the Black Stars, especially in the World Cup qualifying series, and also in the, how do you call it, in the Black Stars as well. So it's been a very, very interesting period for him.
Fantastic. Manuel, I mean, for Partey, it's about his contribution to the team that he belongs, Arsenal. It plays a role in him, having an award of this caliber. He himself acknowledges that, look, there are a lot of players around who could have won this. You feel this will play, that bit of that instrumental role going into next season, for example, for Arsenal?
I mean, yeah, because before the start of the season, they weren't sure if they were going to extend his contract. And the PSG game, the game that he played in the semi-finals, if you just break it down, at that point in that game, his impact when he wasn't in the first leg was evident, given how well he had played against Real Madrid in the previous round. So I think, and like Kwame said, because of his availability this season, it's presented himself as like more of an option for Arteta, because Arteta could play him at right back, he could play him in midfield.
Absolutely.
He's been very durable, and I understand the argument that other players deserve it. Like Semenyo has been really good, but I think Partey, out of all the players we have in Ghana right now, I think Partey is the player who's still at the top of world football right now.
Okay.
But like Semenyo plays in the Premier League. He's been a good player for the past 2 seasons. But I think in terms of competing for the biggest prizes, while Arsenal might not have won it, Arsenal have been able to compete in Champions League. They reached the semi-final. They took the Premier League to the last day the season before, and this season they fell short against Liverpool. But I think that contributes to it, the fact that he is still, and his impact in the team, how evident it is when he's not in the team. I think that contributes to, to the good year he's had. For both the Black Stars, because with the World Cup qualifiers coming, after we came into these World Cup qualifiers, people were still very upset that we didn't qualify for the AFCON. I remember, I think he scored twice in that game that we won against, the first game that we won in the qualifiers against Madagascar. Yes, so I think overall the whole year he's been very solid and deserves the award.
Oh, that's super interesting. Semenyo, Thomas deserved or deserving of the award he lifted.
I mean, in terms of a personal season, I think Semenyo has had a better personal season. But in terms of his impact on the team, while Semenyo's form has been brilliant, and Bournemouth did finish in the top 5, I don't know if his form was directly to contribute to that. I think there were times in Arsenal's games where you could clearly tell the impact of Thomas Partey's absence on their team, and even within the Black Stars as well, because the AFCON qualifiers, he was not picked for that. That was when he and Otto Addo decided to rest him. So there's evidence to suggest, how influential he's been on the team. I think that shouldn't be taken for granted.
Of course, not taking that for granted also means that Semenyo would have to pull his weight up, the next time to make sure he brings this competition on. Getting that for the third time also speaks a lot. The last time was Kudus Mohammed, and Kudus was not able to replicate the form which got him the award in that year. You feel it's a worrying situation. We've got chunk of that. My last question to you: that chunk of players that we always say we have talent. So then, seeing the exchange is good for Ghana football.
Well, it's good. I think on the Premier League preview show, one of the episodes, I did an analysis of Kudus and the season that he's had. It's normal. He's still a young player. He's not gotten to that peak. Normally, peak players are from the age of 25, 26, 20. He's still under 25 as far as I'm concerned. So clearly, there is a lot more room for him to be able to hit that level of consistency. Like I said, the events that happened at West Ham United, the changes, the managerial changes, it's having an overall effect on not just him, but the entire team, and also his own issues with the Black Stars. There are moments where all of these things do happen, so it sort of derail you a bit. But it's up to him. I'm sure knowing the kind of player he is, I'm sure he's probably going to have a very good self-introspection to see how things are going for him and what he needs to do to improve and to get better and come back stronger as a player. So all of these things are there. And it's good. Such an award scheme, I mean, picking out very good players is good for our sport, or it's good for our football, because you'd want a pool of great players to be able to come and contribute, especially for your national team. And having players have a go at each other, improving or competing against themselves at the club level, and also, I mean, coming into the national team and also contributing to the national team generally helps and improves our game in general. So I'm hoping that Kudos would, I mean, bounce back, have a better season for his club and also for the Black Stars of Ghana.
Just to say on Kudus, I noted that I think his form, since he was given the captaincy for the Black Stars, I don't know if the two are related.
That's Kudus, right?
Yeah, but since he was that period when he was given the captaincy for a small period, I don't think he's been able to get back to the form that he was in before that.
True.
And I think that obviously, because he plays for West Ham, he doesn't play for a club at the top of the Premier League table. It's much harder to get opportunities to show how good you are.
Yeah.
If he had been able to replicate his form from last season, I think this season we'll be talking about where is he going next, where's his move up, where's his move. But I think if maybe he'll probably have to stay there one more season, grind, show everybody that it wasn't just a fluke, and then, just get back to it and try and produce his form again.
Great. Now, Kwame spoke about reviving stuff. The Honourable Minister for Sports and Recreation was present yesterday in the auditorium. He had the opportunity, on stage, and then he spoke about strategies or collaborative measures to make sure we use that to revive our local game, for example. Let's get to listen to him.
Among the many things that we intend doing, we want to see the potential of Ghana's football reach its highest height. This is why, under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama, the government is committed to working with stakeholders to revive interest in the local game. The local game must be revived. And Mr. Herbert Mensah was spot on when he said we need to do a lot more to improve our local game. We must revive interest in the local game, improve infrastructure, support talent development, and reform structures that limit our growth. We want our clubs to retain their stars longer. It should not be the case that our clubs will be producing stars only for sale and transfers. Our clubs should be able to retain stars even longer. That is why people will go to the stadium if we are able to retain our stars. And that we will work and collaborate with club owners and club management to make sure that our stars are retained in the local league even longer.
So that's the Honourable Minister for Sports and Recreation. He's just mentioned stuff we've been repeating over time, how to get our football in shape. Or was there anything different he said that I didn't pay attention to?
That's the usual rhetoric. I mean, collaboration, industry, but we know what to do. I always tell people we know what to do to improve our game, all right? So the patronage is low. I mean, we've not been able to package the game to make it more attractive for people to be able to, I mean, do exactly what we expect and all of that. You watch the quality of as it stands now, when there is a Premier League game ongoing, you switch the channel to go watch a Ghana Premier League game. What is in there that would attract you to watch a game like that? You see, we are in a different era. Yeah. I grew up in an era where I used to watch ABC Premier League and Kenya Farmer Premier League, right? Yeah. People would say, "Oh yes, there wasn't the abundance of options we have today wasn't available, so we were stuck to it." But the league then was quite competitive, right? But you look at the league as we have it now, poor packaging. I mean, there is no fun experience. When why you ask yourself, why should I pay money to go leave my home and go to the Accra Sports Stadium or the Legon Sports Stadium to go and watch Ghana Premier League? What is in there? You see, these are the conversations that we need to have. I mean, we always hear this. Let's have a collaboration with who and what. We need to have a proper study of our league and introduce more modern ways in which we can use to improve the game. Because teams are understanding the science and data of things, or the other people organizing other leagues. The South African League and the other leagues, it's all money. How do you go about it? You need to find a way to invest. We need to invest properly and ensure that people are getting very good returns on their investment. Now, one thing that people do talk about a lot, and I agree with them, is how to ignite that community-based things. Because you see Hohoi United play in the Division 1 league, now in the Ghana Premier League, coming into the Ghana Premier League. Yeah. There's an experience. It looks like the whole community troops to the stadium to go and experience something. You look at those local teams, those traditional teams. Now, Gamba, I said, sorry, Sweden All Blacks, sorry. It's back in there. And that's the quality, all right? How do we get these teams that people are attached to? Now, people complain a lot. And one of the key things that I feel we should do to improve the league has to do with getting those two clubs. You know them, the Kotoko and the Hearts. I will give an example of the kind of interest those two teams generated in the league. During the era when Samuel Boedu came into Accra Hearts of Oak, and Kotoko also had their own coach. I think it was when Nana Amponse's era. So they had, that was even before. Before that, they had Mariano Barreto, who came in briefly, and then there was Maxwell Kunedu at some point, and all of that. And then the Johnson Smith era. Now, the competition between Heart and Kotoko suddenly, because they have the biggest fan base in the country, and ignited. How do we engage them? Because they are major stakeholders. How do we engage everybody at that point in time? You recognize every Heart of Oak fan and every Kotoko fan, because the games between them and how they competed against each other neck on neck really sparked something in the league. So there are some fundamental issues that we need to look at. How do we properly package the league?
If the clubs themselves are managed properly or are packaged properly, that way.
That is the key thing. You need your biggest stake because they pull the crowd. They have the largest crowd. Now, Kotoko and Hearts can't pull any crowd. You watch the last Kotoko and Hearts game. And what?
I mean, but still comparatively, they pull more crowds than the other teams.
Exactly.
They still have
that pull. That's what I'm saying, that for us to be able to have that boom, that spark, we need to find a way to engage them, or they need to engage themselves and get themselves running properly. If they're able to do that, that is where the interest rises. People begin to, I mean, the banter, the argument, the social media, it all sparks. And all of the things begin to, so it's all this collaboration and other things. Get to those two clubs. Get to them. Let them do it properly. If they're able to do it properly, because our fandom, or the way football fans support teams in our part of the world is always based on results.
True.
If the results aren't forthcoming, people will not follow. They will be there. They are silent fans. They are waiting for. When Hearts was winning, I used to go to the secretariat. People were trooping there to buy jerseys. Every single time. That time. You will get there and then people are waiting. Waiting with riders. Have sent riders to come and pick up the jerseys for them and all of that. But see, the team has now gone down again. In the last 14, 15 years, they won the league just once. In the last 8 seasons or so, we have had 8 different league winners in this country. We are not, I'm not saying only Hearts and Kotoko should dominate, but they should set the tone.
I mean, the allies are living it, isn't it?
The other thing, because there are two sides of it. Because in order to get as big as Ali, they need more finance. But I'm also worried about a thing where I'm trying to remember the league. But there's a situation where, because the team in the league, the two teams in the league feel like they don't need to share revenues with the rest of the teams in the league, because in their mind, they're the teams that generate the revenue. That makes sense. And if there was a point where Kotoko and Hearts were made the face of the league, they already are, but if they were promoted as a product with them as the face of the league, it might create more of an imbalance between the big teams and the teams that are now. The Ghana Premier League so far, that doesn't seem to be a problem, because they've had 3 first-time winners in the last 3 years. So it seems like competition isn't a problem. I feel like there should be ways where they try and generate more revenue, because at the end of the day, I think that the passion is always there. It's just like you said, it's just about the product that's being presented. And the thing is, comparing it with the Premier League and all the other leagues, it's Slightly unfair.
out of it. It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly unfair
Because
they are they're operating on an entirely different level. The scale of their production for TV, post-production, it's
And the
it's
money
crazy.
that comes in from TV, from kits, it's crazy.
Yeah, another thing.
And the FA would even have to force these clubs to get season in, season out, present which entity is sponsoring your kit, and present your kit colours and what have you. The FA would have to go to that.
Yeah, but that's where the collaboration that the minister is talking about comes in. Now, if there's a streaming service in Ghana that offers that maybe, or some other platform, a website that offers that you can stream these matches in exchange for money, and little by little they find ways that they can finance these things. Because at the end of the day, it's about money, but it's just about the money being spent well. But the money being spent well and put into different parts of the club, so that as a whole, the whole league can go. And like I said, there should be a balance where it's spread throughout every club in the league.
Great.
Because you don't end up in a situation where the top two clubs are far more financially stable or dominant than the other teams in the league. It creates a situation where only two clubs can win the league. At least what we have right now is positive, but there should be better investment in the right places.
All right, we talk about better investment, and it's important because Kumasi Asante Kotoko will be going to Africa. They'll be representing Ghana in the CAF Confederations Cup, and Gold Stars will be representing Ghana in the CAF Champions League. We'll go for a quick commercial break here. When we return, Kotoko, they are the new champions of the FA Cup. We'll get to talk about them and digest it properly. We'll also have a glimpse at how they were able to get those 2 goals. We'll be back right now after this short break. Come back from the break. Kumasi Asante Kotoko beating Golden Cake to win the MTN FA Cup, which leads them to Africa in the CAF Confederations Cup. This is Scorecard on your TV, Channel 1 TV. Of course, you have the opportunity to leave your comments. The numbers down on your screen, so leave your comments there, and also have the opportunity to be reading them for you. Can Kotoko live up to the billing in Africa as they prepare on this journey? They changed their coach from Prosper Nateogum, Dr. Prosper Nateogum, a very good friend, to Karim Abdul Zito, also another good friend as well. And Zito said the trophy was the most important thing he was looking at. Even when the league had not ended, he was still talking about the MTN FA Cup, and he gets to win it. I want us to catch a glimpse of how the event transpired. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, new champions of FA Cup. Watch this.
Free kick to Golden Cake. What can they do with this free kick? Golden Cake. And it's a goal.
So that's a beautiful penalty, you know, that gave Kumasi Asante Kotoko the trophy. I mean, why are you looking like, yeah, sort of smiley and all that? That's an awesome penalty, awarded by the officiating official. I'm not being sarcastic, though. Oh, why? Why?
Abi, how do you look at that and call that a penalty? I mean, we've been watching football for quite some time. How do
The officiating official says.
you watch that? You look God in the eye and take that for a penalty. I mean, you could see even from the reaction of the Kotoko fans. I mean, I have a Kotoko friend.
Now you watch this. What was the contact? What was the contact?
I have a Kotoko friend who was at the stadium and asked, "Was that truly a penalty?" Those watching on TV, he wanted to verify.
They don't say.
He asked on X, "Was that truly a penalty?" And I
that's
saw
a Kotoko fan.
lot, yes, and a lot of Kotoko fans under that post saying no, it wasn't a penalty. No, it was. That was it was so shameful. That penalty call was very, very shameful. This was the 95th minute of the game.
Yeah.
And if you see, you look at the run Golden Kicks have had in the competition, getting into the final, and taking them through this, it was quite cruel on their part. I mean, it would be a very difficult thing to take. And these are some of the things that call the integrity of the game into question, and people begin to ask a whole lot of questions.
I mean, like, for last 2 weeks, we're having the problem with Nations FC when they stepped off and they were having, because they were awarded 2 penalties against them. Now, if this is a similar standard of penalties that were given maybe against Nations FC, I can completely understand why they felt like it's a conspiracy against them. And if Golden Kick today because some of their players have spoken after the game and they felt very hard done by it. So if they also start feeling like things were conspiring against us today, it will be hard not to see their point.
But the issue of officiating.
Poor officiating. I mean, you see, worldwide we have an issue with officiating. I mean, everywhere. Even with VAR, people are making very bad calls. But
in Ghana, the color is super dim.
It's terrible.
And especially, like you said, if there's no VAR, there's no way to review your decision. In the 95th minute of an FA Cup final, you should not be so quick to give a penalty.
Very sure. You have to be
very
certain.
And
very
you talk
certain.
to assistant referees, talk to different people, make sure that.
Make sure
I mean, there
that
was communication after he gave the decision, but before you give the decision, but the impact on the fans too is a lot. The Kotoko fans now think, because they can see it well. Not everyone in the stands can see it well. So they feel we have a penalty, the Golden Kick fans, and it just creates a lot of tension and unnecessary emotion in the game. So I personally agree with him. I don't think it was a penalty. And I think the standard of officiating in the country has to get better.
It has to improve. I mean, it's one of the key things we
I mean, if you complain, and I hate that, Kwame, sorry to take this out from you, but I hate it. For example, when a coach speaks about it, then we pull an article from our regulations or our statuses and say that, look, this regulation of status says that as an official of a club, you need not speak about poor officiating.
No, how many times haven't we seen clubs? You remember the Accra Lions situation against Dreams FC, and they had to go on X to make a series of posts on social media complaining about a litany of decisions that went against them.
Absolutely.
In a particular game, that happened. We have had a lot of other teams complain about that. And these are issues that we need to pay attention. You see, we already have an unattractive product in our football. It's quite unattractive. Now you begin to allow certain decisions mar this unattractive product already. I mean, you are driving people away. Now, you see, it will get to a point, our local game will be left with just a few die-hard fans who are saying, true and true, I am a Hearts fan, or I'm a Kotoko fan, or I'm a whatever fan. If we are not careful, die-hard fans would stop following the local game. And it's all because we are not taking certain key things seriously. It's terrible. I think we need to improve the standard of officiating in this country. If we don't do that, we are gradually killing the game.
Yeah, and I think we have a responsibility to continue the conversation after the game.
Whose responsibility?
Like, as in all of us,
all of us,
people who are involved in the game.
Absolutely.
Because it feels like when we see it, then it becomes, this has happened in the Ghana Premier League again. This happened in the Hearts game. This happened in the Kotoko game. And then it's like, this is what happened here. And I feel like you can't let that become the standard. Because decisions like this happen a lot in the league. And it becomes a thing where it feels like because of how much we see them, it's almost like nothing can be done. But more can be done if we make more of the issue after the game, not just in the moment when it happens and then there's an outrage. But we need to consistently follow up on these decisions and how our game goes in general.
I spoke to the referees manager of the Ghana Football Association on Thursday or thereabout to try and find out from him the rating of officials in the just ended league. He tells me he needs to wait for all the reports, put them together. Then he would also put together another report to the FA proper, as in the body, the ESCO.
Yeah.
You know.
And because it all comes from the system.
But there's an ex-referee who says the standard of the referees in the just ended league is up there. He believes that gadgets is a problem in our league. And I like the looks on your faces. Look, he says gadgets is a problem, because it's at the point is a center referee alone who are the gadgets. Who does he communicate with when such incident? Because it happens in a split of a second. And he says that we have not been fair to this officiating.
I mean, I'm not trying to call into question the credibility of any referee. I'm very certain they all go there to do their best job. But then there needs to be accountability after the decisions are made. Because if you start covering up the decisions, or you start, because it was given on the moment and you say it's a penalty, so now the word from either the FA or people, they say, okay, it's a penalty. That's when you're compounding the mistake. If someone is able to take accountability and say, oh, okay, recently such decisions have been given in the league, or this so and so decision was given, and like it was given on this reason by the referee for this reason, but according to the laws, instead of pulling the article out to defend the decision, you pull out a different article to point out what was missed and how in the future it shouldn't happen again.
Okay, that's great. Now, Kotoko, what should they do to get that performance in Africa? Obviously, they are going to play on better pitches. They are going to meet better footballers. I mean, Dreams had a bit of luck, I think, because to be playing against Lobito and those people, that's fair. But you go into it and you meet clubs.
I mean, to be fair to Dreams, I think they did quite well. They went all the way to the semi-final. So yes, I understand the bit of luck, but it was quality, some level of quality on their part. But
and it's the same Zito. So
yeah,
how does he get
Zito,
the quality?
The same Zito. Well, I don't. You see, it comes back to this whole issue about recruitment. I am hearing, I don't know, that they want to recruit they said they want to recruit 16 or 17 players. I mean, it's become an annual ritual, especially for Heart and Kotoko. Mass clear out, mass recruitment. Yeah. Over the last 4 or 5 years.
That is like a festival.
Yes.
After the season.
Mass clear out, mass recruitment. And you don't build teams like that. You don't build teams where you feel, okay, today we have a lot of players on our hands who are not quality. As a result of that, let's allow them to go and then bring in a new team. What happens to team chemistry? What happens to team bonding? What happens to building a particular group for a very long time or a particular period of time so you could get them to gel to be able to play and play very well? The last time the Kotokos and the Hearts were conquering Africa or were playing very well in Africa, they were playing that on the back of some quality decisions they had made at that time, where they had kept a certain amount of these players for quite some time. And then they knew each other. Look at the Bashir Hefo team of 2008. That had that quality players that played in Africa, although they couldn't get out of the group stages. But they were in the group stages, played against some very good teams. Look at the Heart of Folk team that played, I mean, some years ago in Africa. Now look at their mates are now playing in the Club World Cup and they can't even get out. Or they can't even get into the group stages of the various African competitions. So they need to improve. The football they played today was very poor. The football we've seen from Kotoko over the last period has been quite poor. Okay. And they need to improve their recruitment and the coaching has to be better. Otherwise, we'll still be back to the same conversation that we've been having over the last couple of years for our clubs. I don't feel they are ready to go into Africa. I don't feel they are ready.
Well, Kwame, Kwachi, this issue, would have to go on and on. But I want to take few messages on our WhatsApp console, and then we'll get to talk about the Club World Cup. This reads, "Good evening, guys. William here, and a happy Father's Day to you all. Happy Father's Day to all of us as well." So shout outs to my friend Kwame Enim on the show. Hashtag the bro code. I guess that's it. Great weekend of sports, from the boxing on Friday to UFC, the Canadian Grand Prix, and now the FIFA Club World Cup. I like how teams have taken the FIFA Club World Cup seriously this time. I have high hopes for African teams playing the competition, especially after seeing what El Ahly did against Inter Miami. African football is on the rise.
Come on, it's Inter Miami.
Just to make that point, I know it seems like a long shot, but any Ghanaian team that can get access to the Club World Cup, you probably need to. I know, no, hear me out.
I know what did they do?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
You win your league, you win your CAF Champions League, and then within the 4-year cycle, you qualify for the FIFA World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Any team that's able to get in there just to compete for a Ghanaian team, I think it could be life-changing. In terms for all, it's possible.
You're looking at the money.
No, it is. I'm looking at the money. And
Well, performance is going to expose you, isn't it?
no, but it's not. It's not. But
Kwame mentioned it earlier.
no, but Pyramids won the CAF Champions League, right?
In the last 8 years, somebody was arguing. Somebody was arguing
in 2008.
Somebody was arguing for Akasu, for example. In the last 8 years.
No, but there's a club that was
years.
formed in 2008 that has been able to go and win the CAF Champions League. We have teams with pedigree here.
I mean, that's a shame.
I think it's still possible. I think clubs could not necessarily within the next 4 years. Maybe the next Club World Cup is too far. Maybe the
let me read some few messages. We'll get into that. Good evening to you guys. Trapatoni from Dansuman. The Farmers League that dominated the so-called best league in the world are continuing to find form as they trashed ATM 4-0. Great work by Henrique. All right, it says, look at the reaction of the Kotoko players in the penalty box. They knew it was not a penalty, and they were running back. This is very terrible and shameful. These are the reasons our teams don't perform when they go to Africa. No better company or level-headed CEO will consider sponsoring the league. The referee must be arrested. Ado Obuobi set Esquire. He's saying that. Serious. Let's get to the Club World Cup. And so we take a look at the games, back-to-back clips of what has been happening today from the El Ahly Inter Miami game and the Bayern Auckland City game. Crazy. 10-0 is crazy. Watch this. Well, what a way to start preseason. I feel this competition offers you that platform to start. I wish Manchester United was in this competition.
Oh, please, I beg.
I mean,
let's Manchester United rest.
10-0, 4-0, Crazy.
Manchester United will probably make it a match. You don't know.
Well, when you don't trust them is when they decide to pull up. But I mean, that Inter Miami Al Ahly, it was the proper opener of a tournament.
It was a very good game. I mean, it was a game of two halves. The first half where you had Ali dominate in terms of chance creation, and also, I mean, they played quite well. Where the Inter Miami goalkeeper was the star man in that first half. I mean, saving the penalty. I mean, countless chances that he had to, save to keep Inter Miami in the game. And going into the second half, it turned over, and then Inter Miami also came into the game very strongly. And we had to see El Shanawi also making a lot of saves at the other side.
Absolutely.
So it was a very good start. But the games we've seen today, I think aside the Atletico Madrid, Paris, even that game, you could see one team dominating against the other. Now PSG is just a machine now. How do you stop them? It looks like a well-oiled machine. Right? Players popping in there, dominating you, suffocating you with the press. You saw the second goal that happened that Vitinha had to score. It was an opportunity for Atletico Madrid, and everything turned on its head, and quickly it went against them. So that's it. So it's a good start. For Bayern, it was just some preseason game for them. Auckland, I'm hearing some of the players are not even professional players.
Part-time
Some of them are
students,
part-time
you know,
footballers. Some
students
part-time
studying,
footballers playing somewhere. And then
Charlie, I think we have to take the football profession. Maybe we also have to.
maybe we should transport ourselves to New Zealand.
Absolutely.
We can be working and playing football
There are
part-time.
jobs waiting for us. Charlie, no, you're a bit on that before we
I
go.
think the 3 games show the side. So the early Inter Miami games show that even though like people are worried about, I don't know how good Inter Miami are compared to our early, but there's a balance sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the Bayern Auckland game, there was clearly a better team, and there'll be games like that. There'll be teams where a European team with much more pedigree comes up against a smaller team, and they'll outclass them on the day. But the competition as a whole, I think has been quite good. It's just getting started. So the more the group stage games go, we'll see how it goes. But so far, I think it looks good. And like I said, the more it progresses, the better the competition will be.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Kwame. Thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Manuel as well. And thank you guys who made time to watch the show and those who left your message in the the message box as well. This has been Scorecard on Channel 1 TV. My name is Bernard Abeku, and join us later tomorrow on the biggest morning show. And of course, on our set, we've got a lot of sporting content plus other content for you. We say thank you to Soccer Bet for pulling this magic on. Thank you very much, Soccer Bet, once again. I'm Bernard Abeku. Thank you for watching.